Welcome to another edition of the Business Plain and Simple podcast presented by the ReGroup Advisors. I'm your host, Tiffany Stone, and it's our goal with this and all of our podcasts to guide prospective and current business owners on their journey to prosperity. We'll show you what to do and what not to do in this ever-changing environment. I'm thrilled to be joined today by Mike McMillan of M5 Engineering, and of course, you guys know Mike Koszubski of ReGroup Advisors. Welcome, you guys. It's so cool to have a Mike and Mike, so I hope I keep everything under control here. But Mike Koszubski, you have this new idea, this new operation, and what did you bring to Velocity and ReGroup?
So Mike has come through the Sterling Heights Velocity program, which is the city's incubator and accelerator, and he's a second stage established business that approached the program to help him look at acquiring a business line to assimilate into his existing structure, and concurrently start to diversify his portfolio and create a division within his organization. And that's what the Sterling Heights Velocity program is designed to do. It's to attract growth companies and people that are looking to expand. And Mike's one of those individuals that we're happy to work with, and he's got some exciting stuff going on. We're about halfway through the process with him right now on finding an acquisition, and concurrently he'll talk a little bit about what he's been able to do in the time that we've been in the program together.
That's awesome. And talking about that, Mike McMillan, what was your reason or your experience, or what brought you to ReGroup Advisors, and why did you want to come together and work together with them?
Well, initially, I went to a meeting in the Sterling Heights Velocity Center and started talking with Mike and his team. And I just kind of laid it out there, what I do, what I'm looking to do, without really any, I didn't hold back. And Mike and his team of experts, I'll say, they just kind of took what I said and said, yes, we can help you. So yeah, so then we started talking, and I did a lot of talking. Again, not, just free and open conversations, and it's kind of evolved into this. Is that how it went, Mike? Do you agree?
Yeah, exactly. And I think when we looked at it, the beauty of the program is we get the subject matter experts all around the table. And Mike did a strategy brain dump for all practical purposes, and just really laid out what his vision is and where he wanted to take the company, and strategically looking at trying to acquire a business that can roll into his platform. And I'll let him talk a little bit about what he specifically was looking at there. And then also recognizing that he has clients that had a need. He expanded services and created a division in there, which is up and running, which is already generating revenue, which is already, going through. And like I said, this is the beauty of having the relationship there. Not only are we able to bring all the experts in and help him in all the different disciplines like IT and media and operations and strategy and controls and et cetera, but we supplement him in a way where we're not intrusive into the organization, but we're able to take some of the stuff off his plate so he can focus on not only running the business, but then also getting the initiatives implemented. So Mike, you want to, I think it would be great to talk about what you were looking for on the acquisition side.
Yeah. Okay. So originally when we started talking with Mike and the Velocity team, we started looking for an acquisition. So right now what we do, to give a little bit of a background, is we're an engineering design, mechanical design, specializing in tooling aerospace. And we offer that service. We've been offering it for 7 years, very well respected in the industry. And what I was getting a lot of inquiries from my customer base is, hey, what else do you guys do? So before I started M5, I had experience in different with larger companies, larger manufacturing, turnkey, not just in the engineering, but the manufacturing and the fabrication part of it. So what I was looking for is a maybe a company in the area that we could acquire and I could add to our portfolio. So we offer the engineering side of it. We have knowledge on the whole realm of, the aerospace tooling industry. But I was trying to find a company, maybe like a smaller, mid-sized company that we could take and add to, so we could do the engineering side of it. We could also maybe offer some fabrication or some manufacturing, machining, or quality, or some other area, so we can offer that to our customers as well as the engineering side. So we have been looking and talking a lot, and we went through a list of potential companies, and we're still working on those. But in the meantime, I didn't just want to sit still. So what we did recently, the end of last year, was we established a quality assurance department. So in our industry, it's like you have your engineering and your design. That's important. You have your manufacturing, where you're putting the metal and you're welding and you're assembling and you're making these designs real life. But then you have the quality part of it, which is where you come in and you make sure that everything is done per the design, per the customer standards, without getting too deep in the weeds. So we established a quality assurance department. We've done 5 jobs so far this year, small jobs, but we work through them, and we want to expand on that. We also purchased an API laser tracker, which most people aren't going to know what that is. And then some very commonly used software that goes with that laser tracker. It's Verisurf, and that's just very common used software in our industry. So we have, and I call it the bookends. We have the engineering and the design that we're established, and we have I consider a very good reputation out there. Now we are working the other end of the project, which would be the quality side. So we've got our knowledge, obviously, of the engineering side of it. Now we're able to verify and make sure that everything that was assembled, manufactured, is to the standard, is to the design, and we're able to put those packages together for our end customer in a good flow, a good, easy to understand format, which is one of the things that we've seen as a need in the industry. So,
well, that's awesome. And, in that all the parts that you're just talking about, there's a lot of great things. But one thing that really kind of stood out to me is how you mentioned you have the bookends. You have this side and this side. And it seems like the guys at ReGroup Advisors are helping you fill in from those bookends and really honing down on kind of what you need to be able to go to the next step. And what I really like about Mike and everybody there that I've noticed throughout the, times of talking to them is they will help you fill in those pieces that you may not necessarily know. Hey, I have this great idea. This is where I want to be. How do I get there? What are the steps that I need to take there? And it seems that they are doing that exactly for you. And like I said, the number one thing that kind of stood out for me was the bookends. And I feel like that's probably something that you say to other people or other businesses when they're like, hey, how can ReGroup Advisors help me? What can I benefit from them? And that's, a great way to put it, is that they help you fill in the bookends that you've already created.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so in part of the decision making of getting into the quality side was from talking to Mike and the guys, and we already had the acquire process in rolling. So we can continue to grow internally with this new division, but if something comes up, and hopefully it does, we can, like you said, fill in those bookends.
No, that's wonderful. Well, going back to Mike from ReGroup Advisors, is there anything else about the Velocity program or M5 engineering that you'd like to mention? What have you learned? Because I feel like every time that you work with a specific business, a specific company, you also learn certain things to kind of put, back in your pocket. Hey, this is something that I can take from them as well, use it towards somebody else. And it's all the, if I grow, you grow mentality. And that's kind of what I really enjoy seeing what you guys do for everybody when they come to you for some advising.
Yeah, Mike's company represents exactly what the city and the county both are looking for. A company that's wanting to stay in the community and continue to grow, add jobs, add economic development. I mean, he's purchasing equipment, he's reinvesting in his business, he's going to be adding jobs through this, he's going to be working with local suppliers. And so that economic impact inside the community is great, and that's what they want to have happen. And what makes Mike unique is when we first met him, his ability to accurately lay out his strategy and his vision through how he's always attacked what he does for his clients. He turned that process right back into M5, and really it was great to be able to work with him to kind of cultivate that. And also, the other side of the Velocity Center is they have an executive and residence program, which facilitates out to all the county programs and the state programs as well. So those resources are also available through this whole process. So being able to work with somebody like Mike and be able to give him the tools and also expanded reach out, statewide and into some of these programs is fantastic. And like I said, he's a great example of an organization that the city and county want to invest in and continue to help grow. It's a win-win. So it's been fantastic working with him along the way. And we're excited to see how the outcome ultimately goes. And hopefully we can find a company to acquire into them and continue to just spin this as big as we can possibly get it for him.
Wonderful. Well, going back to you, Mike, again, one last thing, anything that you kind of want to wrap up with your experience with the ReGroup Advisors with Mike and kind of what the plans are for the future?
Well, I do have to say that the guys have been great. I may have already said that, but it's just nice to be able to open dialogue with what I'm thinking, and they're able to take my, sometimes overly technical conversation and bring it back to, okay, yep, we get it, and to make sense of it and help organize it in my, my brain sometimes bounces around. So they're able to help organize a plan saying, yes, we can do all these things, but, let's, keep doing what you're doing, maybe establish this part of it, and let's not close the door on the middle part of the acquisition side of it. And we're going to move forward. Like I said, we're going to keep those bookends, build them up, and I'm going to continue to work with the guys and see where this goes. But no, it's been a great experience.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, and talking about the bookends, Mike, they can only get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. There is no end to your bookends. And I love that. So thank you guys so much for joining us again today and providing some great information, Mike and Mike. It was a blast chatting with you guys. And that will do it for another edition of the Business Plain and Simple podcast presented by the ReGroup Advisors. Thanks for listening, and make sure to follow our podcast, your podcast, so you don't miss a future episode. You'll be notified as soon as they release, and if you want to catch up on past episodes, you can see those in our podcast feed as well. If you guys are interested in business advising services offered by the ReGroup Advisors, you can contact them at 888-248-7077.